Those of you who don't know me, my name is MorganKeating, and I design a high-end net zero energy home. So what exactly is net zero energy? It's basically when you have a home or any kind of building and as it consumes energy, it's also producing energy, so it equals out to net zero. So essentially there's no energy being let out into Earth. And it conserves energy, you save money. It's a little bit more expensive starting off, but you save so much money in the long run just because you're using less energy. You help combat climate change, it's low maintenance, you have cleaner, fresh air, and it's good for the Earth. So how important is net zero energy? So buildings account for about 40% of all the energy usage in the United States, and 1/3 of that is from the global greenhouse gas emissions, which is a lot. And by 2040, the CO2 emissions are projected to triple than how they were in 1975, which is kind of a scary thought, and it's really bad, especially for cities. So net zero energy homes can help reverse this damage and help stop the amount of electricity going out into the world, basically, and the CO2 emissions as well. So this also goes into global warming. Global warming is essentially just a gradual increase in temperature in the Earth. It's caused from CO2 and other pollutants and things like that. And basically humans are the #1 reason for all of this, and it affects so much in the Earth, and it's just kind of like dominoes. Where one thing gets affected, the animals get affected, the water, temperature, so much more. So then I have a question for you guys. How many years left do you think we have until we can't reverse this damage?
Like 11, 12 years.
Yeah. Yeah, so some scientists, they don't believe that it's 12 years, but some say it's 25. Some say it's only 12 years. And then in 2017, Stephen Hawking said that Earth alone only has about 100 years left, which is, in Earth years, that's just like a blink of an eye, so it's a really scary thought. And it doesn't just affect us humans. Right now, polar bears are the #1 animals that are affected by it. As you can see these pictures, as the temperatures start to rise, the icebergs start to melt, and polar bears use the icebergs to try and lure their prey, like seals, from the water. And when they're gone, they start to starve to death just because they have a really hard time catching their prey. And this causes animals to start acting differently because they can't get to their normal food that they would normally do. So animals are just acting different, eating different food than they normally would, which affects other species. So it's kind of just like the whole circle of life, where one thing happens, everything else gets affected. So I have this little video.
Come on, everybody. I know we're not all the same, but we're living on the same Earth. Everyone who's listening has been to Earth, Ariana. We're not making music for aliens here. Are we gonna die? You know what, Bieber? We might die. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, there's so many people out there who don't think global warming is a real thing. You know, we're gonna save this planet. We're being stupid.
Unless we get together now.
So like basically like what Ariana and Lil Dicky are trying to explain is that like a lot of people right now don't believe that global warming is a real thing. He just came out with this song on Earth Day, and all the songs that he's coming out with and the videos, all the money that's coming from it is going straight to charities to help save the Earth, basically, and kind of get the word out there that we really need to start acting now. So the problem, I have a few different problems. So I had some clients, and they outgrew their really small home in Ahwatukee, and so they came to me because they wanted a larger home, and there's this golf course right by my house, and it's been closed since 2013. So the picture on the top is what it used to be in like 2010, very green, and luscious, and pretty. And right now, the bottom picture, that's what it looks like right now. So it's just sitting there, dead and empty with overgrown weeds. And all the surrounding neighbors don't know what to do with it because they're not open to change. So they're saying no to apartments, and someone wanted to do an Awatuki Farms with some living and different homes there, and everything just keeps getting shut down. So part of my solution and the other problem was the need for net zero homes. So I planned on doing a high-end gated community where this whole golf course could turn into a net zero community. And so the whole neighborhood isn't necessarily producing any energy and then can help reverse the damage from global warming. So this is the floor plan that I came up with for the solution. This is the main floor plan. So you walk in right here, this is the entrance, and this whole side is the master suite side, I guess you can say. And over here is kind of your living area with your kitchen, your family room, and your breakfast room. And my clients love to entertain and have people over, so I wanted to have enough space for each family member. So I wanted to keep this whole area open and kind of like in the heart of the home. And then since they do have 4 kids, this is the whole kids side of the home, and they love to have in-laws stay and their brothers and sisters or other guests, or if they have a nanny, they have their own private guest quarters right here. And then as well as that, there's another guest house here for the in-laws and a pool lounge up here. So there's enough space for everybody in the home to get around and breathe. And then this is the basement. So you can see here, and it also includes an elevator for those who can't go down the stairs. And you have basically just a very, very large, long basement with a game room. They have a gym, a home theater, a bar, and a wine cellar. And they're huge football fans, so this downstairs, my thought was to have TVs all around the entire basement, so that wherever you're at, you can watch whatever football game is on, and down here could just be more of an entertainment space as well for Super Bowl parties, while you have people upstairs, people can also be downstairs. And if you look here at the kitchen, this is where we came up with for this. So they wanted it as well just to be very open and clean and airy. So I went with very light colored walls, and since it is a net zero home, gas appliances are recommended wherever you can have them. So this is a gas range top, and they have double ovens, a microwave, and a steam oven, as well as a large fridge and wine fridge. And then the beams in here, to keep going with everything being sustainable, they're reclaimed wood. So everything in the house that's wood is reclaimed wood so that they can use it. It's good for the earth. So including these bar stools that are reclaimed and the doors all throughout. And these doors lead to a large butler's pantry for catering, and then people can come in and out, and they don't have to have all their food out on the island. But when they do have people over and have food over, there's tons of room to get around the kitchen, and no one's trying to be on top of each other. And then the breakfast room over here is right adjacent to the kitchen. I continued on with the beams, and I chose a very large round table just because I think it's a little bit more intimate for families, especially if they're trying to entertain. There's tons of room for people to sit around. And here you have like a good view of the windows that will all be throughout. So the trim as well is going to be all dark reclaimed wood. And they are all very highly efficient. Because in a net zero home, you have to have very highly efficient doors and windows, because that's going to be like your major loss of heat or AC, especially in Phoenix, Arizona. So that was a very major thing that I had to have, as well as thick exterior walls, because you have to have a very tight insulated space, so, as well as the windows, so that nothing can really escape the house. And then the family room is right next to that. And again, just very open and everything. This is the heart of the house. So this is where everyone's going to be. And here you have a better view of the beams that will be throughout. And then I added these archways throughout just to kind of give it a little bit of a more architectural feel, so it doesn't feel very bare, because it is a very light home with the dark contrasting beams and the dark wood throughout. And here I wanted to mention the floors as well. They are porcelain wood tile floors, and porcelain is made out of 100% natural elements, which is very sustainable, and you can reuse them in the future. So that is throughout the entire home. And then the master bathroom down here, or master bedroom, on the opposite side of the home. And here I wanted the parents to kind of have a getaway feel, like they're kind of on vacation. And since throughout there's very high ceilings, I decided to add more beams in here to kind of bring the ceiling down a little bit and make it feel a little bit more intimate. And then again, we have a large fireplace, floor-to-ceiling fireplace, a modern marble tile there, just to add another little fun modern element in there. And then here you can kind of still see all the arches throughout, so they have a very large arched door getting out into their private courtyard on the side of the house. And then the master bathroom, which you can walk through in here, just very open and large. They have it's not shown here, but they have a very large freestanding tub that opens up to all these other extra windows, arched windows throughout. And I kind of want to go with like a round center in the middle, just to kind of keep it cohesive, and they can walk around it whenever they want. And then this is their large master closet, which is with an archway, and a fun lighting fixture throughout. And with the lighting fixtures, all the lights in the house are LED, to help save some energy. So sustainable appliances and LED lighting fixtures and things of that nature will help keep the energy down in the home. And then this is another little snippet of the video.
What up, world? It's your boy, just one of the guys down here. Well, I could be more specific. I'm a human, and just wanted to, you know, for the sake of all of us earthlings out there, just wanted to say, we love the earth, it is our planet. We love the earth, it is our home. We love the earth, it is our planet. We love the earth, it is our home.
So like in this song, he's basically saying like the earth is our home, so we need to treat it like it's our home and treat it with respect. So my hope is that people will start building homes, more homes like these, because there's only a few right now that are really known in Phoenix. So I'm hoping that later on people will start getting on this trend of trying to save the earth and actually treating it like it is our home and having net zero homes throughout. So.
I really like all of your like perspectives are very like fresh and clean, and like everything's like neat.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for.
Love the
very
song, too.
airy.
I was going to say the same thing, but it's like very clean and you can really get the style that you're coming across or trying to design. And I was just having a question. Did you like source any of your materials from like locally or?
I didn't, but that would be probably a really good idea to look into. Because I did a lot of the materials I was looking at Arizona tile, which I do know they have tons of those in Phoenix, right down the street from where this is located. So that's where the tile's from.
All right, faculty. Go back to that rendering that has the, it's the master bedroom. It has the light shining through the arched window.
Oh, yeah.
Nice effect.
Thanks. I know, I really liked it. I wanted to show at least the doors, but this kind of did it for me, having the sun come in, because I definitely wanted this whole space to be very bright and kind of still intimate with the beams and things of that nature.
The way you used the beams in the ceiling brought the ceiling down, which makes it more intimate too. It's nice. Other thoughts?
Morgan, one thing I'm really curious about, so I was trying to, I felt like there was some disconnect for me, and I'm not sure, I'm trying to place my finger on it exactly. I feel like you have a high-end net zero home, and I'm curious if you did research on demographics and how this would work in that area, and turning this golf resort into, here you have a high-end luxury community that's net zero. I think I would want more exploration on the site and how things are located on the site, and I wanted to see more what made this community net zero than just tight windows and thick walls. And locally sourced doesn't necessarily mean Arizona tiles down the street. It's where did the product come from? So I think it was missed a little bit.
Okay.
But your renderings are amazing. The furnishings, everything that you chose was absolutely stunning and beautiful. So very good job on that.
I think too, again, aside from the conversation about the wood being reclaimed, there is an awful lot to a net zero. I had a background where we were building that type of a house, and a lot of people would say, well, you're building a $3 million house, you know, you don't worry about your power bill or your gas bill. But in order to get to a net zero, and part of that, the narrative of this, is that you can't build a shoddy house and be net zero. So they do cohabitate quite well. That technology yields an extremely well-built structure, which somebody will spend that kind of money in addition to the style and design of it. So your site identification is spot on, because here you've got something that's just, you know, it's dying on the vine and it's waiting for some form of resurgence. So you're marrying that type of house, the net zero mentality, with revitalizing a whole community. It used to be a golf community, so there's this, you know, history of affluence that's already there. I also, because your renderings, the shadow of the light coming through from the other side on the floor, I know already, I don't even have to see it. I know it's already there because I'm looking at it, which is brilliant. Aside from you sharing that your client requested this to be as spare, there's not a whole lot of window coverings, rugs, and that's so, you know, there's the basic, there's the furniture, there's the floor. And for me, my personal taste, unless your client said, that's what I want, but I didn't hear it. You did describe your client a little bit, but I would have, in most of the rooms, I would have expected to see, you know, some type of maybe a rug in front of the fireplace or a little bit more art on the walls, just from an overall completion of a room. You know, more layers, in other words. So, and again, you could have a client that said, I don't want that. You know, so that's either built into the narrative or not.
I agree.
I feel like I would sort of echo what Sarah had said, in the sense that I felt very overwhelmed by your enthusiasm about the environment. And I think the amount of time you spent showing graphics and videos regarding the environment, but I felt a disconnect with the actual proposal. Like the level of research about what constitutes the efficiency of this home, to me, is where I had a hard time getting from A to B. The other thing that when I was looking at this, I kept thinking, because I would agree the renderings are very effective. I think the use of palette is very clean. But when I saw the structure, my first question was, is this a house that you designed? Yeah, and so that was, I guess, as I was listening to you and looking at it, I thought, well, clearly the bulk of the work then was in the architectural design. And to me, it does feel like there's still echoing the comments about finishes. Like, I feel like they're still moving in. Like, in the sense of artworks on the walls, attention to textiles, those kinds of things that would make it like feel like finished interiors. But I think it's a great start. I mean, in terms of that.
I really like how, because when a lot of people think of sustainability, at least in my opinion, I feel they don't really think of luxury as being the first thing that comes to mind. And so the way that you meshed those two concepts of luxury versus sustainability together in one space, I thought that was really well done. And your renderings, again, are very good. I really like them. They're beautiful, the lighting, everything. The simplicity of it, too, is just, it kind of reminds you back to what your main purpose was to be sustainable and to be as eco-friendly as possible. And I think that's probably why maybe you might have not included as much pictures and home materialistic things. And I think that was I don't know if you intentionally did that, but that's kind of what you're getting is what you're okay. So great work, loved it, beautiful.
Yeah. Whoa. Sherry, do you have anything? You're good? Okay. I kind of agree with everybody. It was interesting. Somebody was saying that they felt like the house was too big to be net zero. What would you come back with for that?
Well, so one of my committee members, he is a contractor, and he just built the very first net zero home, and him and our family friend actually just moved in. So he explained that really the only things to help make a home net zero is to have a very highly efficient variable speed HVAC system, like a cathedral foam insulation, especially in Phoenix in the attic, to keep that area cool, because the attic's going to be the hottest space in the house, especially in Phoenix, Arizona. So really any kind of house can, as long as it has that kind of stuff with the solar panels and gas appliances where you can have them, any house can really be net zero energy.
You didn't say anything about solar panels.
I know.
So that's I'm like, where's it? Because if net zero, if you have the house has to be producing energy. If it's using energy, it has to be producing that same amount. Yeah. And so that's just what I was missing was, well, where is this coming from?
The solar panel. Yeah, I showed on the roof. I just didn't show the roof on here. So we got to mention that. But,
I've seen all of her research and everything, so I know what she's done, but it might not have translated as best as it could in this presentation, but I mean, overall, the fact that you designed this entire house, how many square footage?
It's like 22,000.
Dang, girl. That's a lot. That's a lot of house to design. So, and this project to me was my first experience to know that there are actually houses like this that exist in the world. So, it was a pretty amazing task that you did. So, good job. Good job.